everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in Taking Strahd Seriously, Part 27. Today is November 12th, 2019, and you are loved. And that is a thing that I feel is very important to say at the beginning of each and every single one of these sessions, because honestly, we really do appreciate you guys coming to stop by. We do this show Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here at twitch.tv/indooradventures. We have a homebrew campaign, Curse of Strahd, and Ghost of Saltmarsh. It's a pretty fun time, and if any of those sound interesting to you, consider going and checking out the VODs that we have up on YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com/indooradventures, you can find more of our games there, and if you are an audio-oriented individual, consider checking us out wherever podcasts are available. If you already support the show any number of those ways, consider also going to patreon.com/indooradventures, because that is where we upload our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community but also from you guys. We like to do it because you've shown that you're pretty receptive to it, so thank you. With that, let's kick some things off. So RJ, who are you playing tonight?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ, and I'm playing Bartholomew, the Ranger Blood Hunter Werewolf.
Hello, I am Silme Malrezka. Nope, I'm LBHackEmUp. I'm playing Silme Malrezka, the wizard who has a minor in cleric.
And I am playing Kefris Bellevue, the mongrel folk barbarian, who also might have a minor in cleric.
You fucking dorks.
And I am your very spooky DM, Wings, also known as Danae Keener. Let's get things started off with the recap. Last time, the group escorted a gaggle of children who had been kidnapped by werewolves to Vallaki. Bartholomew confessed his lycanthropy to his father, and the entire family was reunited. Having cleared the air and making plans to form a diplomatic... And the entire family was reunited, having cleared the air and made plans to form diplomatic ties with the werewolf pack. Meanwhile, Silme had been helping Maybelle deal with her confused and muddled memories when she received a disturbing message from Escher in the form of a Zarovich orchid, meaning nobility and danger. Then, having gathered the rest of the group, they began to read the Tome of Strahd, learning that Tatiana was Strahd's right hand in a war in the valley. Reading the tome is a taxing process, and Silme gained several levels of exhaustion doing so. Then, as morning broke, Kefris recruited Father Lucian to perform a ceremony on Ismark, curing his feral madness, but not his vampirism. Over the next few days, Silme rested and prepared to read the tome again. Kefris went to Kresik to visit the Bellevues and speak to the abbot and Speedy about seizing... I'm sorry. And Speedy set about seizing leadership of the werewolf pack. There we go. God, I don't know why that was so hard. Reading is difficult, you guys. Anyhow. Oh, you know what's extra strange? My mic is over here.
I was like, it sounds a little weird.
It's a little muffled on account of the fact that it's behind both my monitors. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Crystal.
Excellent.
Here I am. All right, so essentially what's on the docket for today is that we need to wrap up some werewolf fights for Speedy. We need to get back to Kefris with the abbot, who has promised to tell him the whole truth about the Tome of Strahd. And we also need to finish up reading the Tome of Strahd with Silme. I actually had LB do some rolls over the week. And when I say over the week, I mean last night. And we found out exactly how many days it's going to take her to get through the rest of the tome. And you had accrued 3 levels of exhaustion, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Oh, back like a bad itch. So that means that you would need to take 3 days to rest and get rid of those exhaustion levels. And then, according to your rolls, I believe it's another 5 days to finish up the Tome of Strahd.
Yeah.
All right. So Speedy, Skennis will have fixed your crossbow for you. A number, essentially the way that things work is that you have presented yourself in front of the pack, basically said, I'm going to be in charge. Anybody have a problem with that? And a few people mentioned, raised their hands to that. And you have been spending the past few days just like on and off fighting with a bunch of young werewolf upstarts. It like the werewolf pack is about like, why are you doing this? 20 to 30 people, or 20 to 30 werewolves. But the majority of them are actually very young, like from like 12-ish up into like maybe 18. And like they're going through puberty. What's worse, they're werewolves going through puberty. So like they will scrap with you over leadership. Is there like anything else that you want to do as you are basically during this time established as the leader of the pack?
Probably speak with Skennis, learn more of their traditions, their culture, try to better integrate myself so I don't look like a complete asshat if I have something to do.
All right.
You know.
Give me a persuasion check.
Best at these. 19.
19? All right.
It would have been a natural 20, but
It's honestly pretty good. Oh, that's funny. So you become aware that there is a number of werewolves in the pack that are still loyal to Strahd and think that you should still be serving Strahd. Surprisingly enough, Zuleika is not among them. And even more surprising, Zuleika has not challenged you.
I'm going to try to talk to my aunt.
Okay.
Try and get some insight from her if she's willing to part it.
All right. Like, what exactly do you ask her about?
You've been a werewolf for far longer than I have. And I am coming into this basically blind. And for what it's worth, Flint tried to teach me, but it didn't really pan out. I know we're not on the best of terms, but I could really use your help to do this. Any motions to like the werewolf den, right?
What do you want from me?
Advice? I don't know. Am I doing this all right? Fighting off these pups day and night?
If what you want is power, then yes.
All right.
It will be only a matter of time before Strahd comes for us. We are no longer bringing any souls into Barovia, and this was our deal.
If we were to ally ourselves with people outside the pack, the Martakovs, the hunters in Vallaki, do you think we have a standing chance to protect ourselves from her?
What you are describing is impossible. The Martikovs, the hunters, they all hate us.
But what if it didn't have to be that way?
She opens her mouth to respond to you, and Skennis begins to call a pack meeting. He basically calls all of the wolves in the cave together and announces that someone has come forward that is willing to challenge you. And you see someone familiar standing next to Skenis.
Yes. You motherfucker.
It's Flint.
Hi.
Hey. So this one has come forward who wants to challenge you for leadership of the pack.
Just to be clear, it's not me taking leadership, it's making sure Bartholomew doesn't take leadership.
Skenis looks very confused at this. You wait. He just kind of like turns around from everybody else, like a bunch of werewolf eyes are all staring blankly at you. He just kind of turns around towards you, Flint. You don't want leadership of the pack.
I have no interest in leading the pack. I just am here to stop Bartholomew from leading the pack.
He looks at you like this makes no sense to him. So
If I understand, there's a stipulation of the proving that if I win, I can do something within the pack's power.
Yes.
And
All
that
right.
is what I want.
So what you want is for him not to be the leader.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be the leader?
No.
He just kind of stares off into the distance, like as his brain kind of fries. And he's like, our ancient laws never said anything about this.
It's not my problem for you to figure out.
He kind of scratches his head and he turns back around to Bartholomew. Do you choose a second?
Is one required?
No.
No, I do not.
Well then. I suppose it's time for us to begin.
Can Bartholomew and I have a second to talk?
Mysteries of mysteries. You confound me, boy.
Bartholomew has already taken off his coat. He's like unbuttoning his shirt.
Fine. Go and talk.
I'm going to step to the side and wait for Bartholomew to come over.
Jacket over the arm, walks over to Flint. What is your game, Flint Wolf?
I want you to know this isn't anything personal. In fact, I'm trying to help you here. I think you are putting yourself in too much danger and putting everything you and the Melreska, Bellevue, everyone in danger trying to wrestle control of the werewolves.
He will put a hand on Flint's shoulder and just go, the day I decided to help the Malreskas, I was in a lot of danger already.
Yes, but now you are unsettling a very delicate balance. And if you take control of the pack, how many people have you already fought that have tried to stop you? Those same people are going to spend their entire time undermining you. You are overwhelming yourself with responsibility that will end up making you guys lose to Strahd.
With the way things are here, with their ancient customs as we've been doing it, if there are any who oppose me, I guess I'll just have to crush them.
And then another one comes up, and you keep on being distracted from the main goal. You don't need the werewolves. They're only going to distract you.
If we are going to fight Strahd, we need every bolt in our holster, a quiver. Because
it's better that your enemy has a weak ally than you have an even weaker ally.
I would rather she have no allies at all.
If she doesn't have them as an ally and you try to count them as your own, they are only going to detract from your strength. I'm trying to help you here. I've seen too many adventurers get distracted, fall to infighting. You guys have gotten so much further than anyone I've seen. I don't want that to crumble.
Flint, if I am to fail here with the werewolves, then so be it.
Well, then I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let you fail with the werewolves. I'm going to stop you.
There might be a chance that they can help us. There might be a chance they can't help us.
There might be some good ones among them. There might be some young werewolves who haven't been tainted by the pack's bloodthirst, and by all means recruit them into your fold. But the pack as a whole is not going to help you, even if you punch every single one of them down into the dirt. Ruling them with an iron fist is only going to detract from your leadership.
You know, I had a plan. It was going to be pretty out there, but I thought it was going to work. But you know what? Are we going to stand around all day talking, or are we going to beat each other up?
Forcing my hand.
Gonna pat him on the face. Be
Yeah.
gentle.
Pat him on the shoulder. No promises.
I
All
don't
right.
make it rough.
God, just kiss already.
I'm too young for him, apparently.
God,
I like
so you guys are awful. So let's go over the rules of the proving real quick. Both of you have werewolf forms, so no holds barred. It's till death or death or unconsciousness or give it up. That's what it's called.
Yep.
Till someone surrenders or dies.
There's definitely no better word for that. God. So
till someone gives it up.
Till someone gives up. All right. I need you two to roll initiative, I suppose.
No, that's gone forever. I only need 20.
We need to get this boy a dice tray.
Listen up, y'all. This is the beat that I'm banging. It's delicious. Oh.
22.
21.
Amazing.
Are we starting off in our werewolf forms?
You can if you wish.
I can see us standing on either side of the proving circle, which Flint flinches as he enters, and both transform to begin combat.
All right. There is a feeling of uneasiness throughout the werewolf pack as the two of you square off. Flint, having left the pack so long ago, people are beginning to recognize him and question what exactly he is doing here. And they all just kind of wait to see what will happen. Skennis raises his gigantic hairy paw and looks off into the distance with his milked over eyes and kind of takes a moment to savor this feeling. And then he drops it. Begin.
Cool. Without a moment's hesitation, he's gonna rush forward and attack. First bonus action rage, and then go in with the double claws. Actually, what I'm gonna do is first claw attack is 12, which I don't think hits.
You want to hit a 15.
Yep. And then the next one, grapple, babe. Is it conflicting strength checks?
Strength or acrobatics.
Okay.
I mean, you have to use strength for
I'm using
grappling, but
strength.
you can use acrobatics to avoid.
But I am raging, so I get advantage.
Advantage.
Not great. You have to beat a 18.
17. You got me.
All right. Run in, try and claw at you, and then grab you with the other hand. And you are grappled, sir.
Cool. Grapple does not stop me from casting spells, right?
Nope.
It does not. Being grappled only only prevents you from moving.
Cool. Bonus action, I'm going to light both of my claws with electricity. That is minus 788. No, that's a death. First claw attack. Plus, sorry folks. Plus dex. 22.
22 hits.
6, D4. 9 points of slashing damage reduced to 4.
And because I'm raging, it's reduced again, double reduce.
No, because our werewolf claws cancel our werewolf.
Oh yeah, no, werewolf claws do cancel. Thank you for reminding
We
me.
discussed this before.
And,
4 slashing damage, and then hit me with the big bucks.
3 points of lightning damage.
Okay.
Second claw attack. Does a 19 plus 6, 25? Yeah.
Yeah. The target you're aiming for is 18.
Oh god! Oh gods! What have I gotten myself into?
You could have had a second.
I
You
could
could
have
have
a
a
second.
second.
And then he gets to choose a second. For
I'm just letting you know, Kefris would have kicked my ass.
probably, yeah. 7 points reduced to 3 slashing damage. And 3 points of lightning.
6. All right.
Turn.
All right. I currently have him grappled. I would like to try to use my. Sorry, was that your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to use one of my attacks to knock him prone. Remind me how that works.
You have
Exactly the way that
AC.
grappling works.
No,
Okay.
I thought prone was AC.
It might be a different edition or Pathfinder. It's exactly
I
how
think-
grappling works. It's a shove attack.
Yeah, it's a
Oh.
shove attack.
Okay.
But because I have you grappled, your speed is 0. So if I maintain the grapple and shove you under the ground, you can't get up.
Mhm.
So
Grapple builds.
athletics check. Well, I'm rolling poorly so far. That's a 15.
I got a natural 1.
Oof. Oh god.
All right. Then second attack is advantage because you are prone, plus a bonus action frenzy attack. So 2 attacks coming at you with my claws. That hits with a 20.
Mhm.
And then the second. Oh no, they're gone.
Get that boy a dice drop.
Don't look at the man behind the curtain.
God.
And then 18. So
Yeah, that hits.
2 hits. I'm sorry, Speedy.
It's fine.
Are you? Are you really?
A little bit. I didn't want to come to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 16 total points of werewolf slashing.
Cool.
Grapple build.
It's fine. This is right where I want to be anyway.
Yeah. Hi, buddy.
Second bonus. My turn.
Yes.
Bonus action: casting Hunter's Mark on Flint. Oh boy! Boy! Oh boy! First attack. 18 exact. Hits, right? Contested because
Yeah.
attacker wins.
Is it melee attacks when you're prone?
Melee attacks when there's
but they're
nothing.
within 5 feet, right? So it's fine.
Yep, there's nothing that stops you from doing a melee attack when you're prone.
Cool. Yeah, 18 hits.
So
Exactly.
That. And that. Oh, 17 points of slashing damage
Nice.
on the first hit.
Half to 8.
and 4 points of lightning damage. And then the second attack. 17 plus 6 is 23? Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. That's pathetic. 2, 3, 5. Oh, I'm sorry. 21, because I add my dex. No, 20 slashing, because I add my dex. I forgot.
Oh, okay. You said it was 17
So it's 10.
originally?
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
10, so just add.
So add 2.
8 points of slashing damage, 3 points of lightning damage on the second hit.
You are zapping me. Hey guys, I'm at 69.
Nice.
Nice.
Kaplow.
Anyway, here's 3 attacks coming at you.
Hoo boy.
Wow. First one misses with a 14. Good job.
Do I get my dex while I'm prone?
Being prone, I'm pretty sure just gives advantage to melee attacks and
Yeah.
disadvantage to ranged attacks.
I'm thinking of entangled.
You are not restrained.
Not yet.
You are grappled, which is an entirely different thing.
This is a
The highest number I rolled was a 9 there with 6 rolls.
What?
Yeah.
Are
I
you?
mean, 14.
You're rolling with advantage, correct?
I'm rolling with an advantage.
I
All
would
six
hope so.
die.
He said 6 rolls.
Flint just doesn't want to hurt his friends.
I'm holding back. So, nice.
That makes the... Oh, wait, you didn't hit me. Cool. Okay, here we go. Happy fun times for everyone. First attack. 19.
Yep.
That's pathetic. 13 points of slashing damage, 1 point of lightning damage.
Nice.
Second attack.
You will whittle me down.
14 plus 6 is 20. I use these dice. 13 points of slashing damage, 4 points of lightning. Third attack. No. Third attack's a no.
Okay. Bonus action, I'm going into my final form and fully shifting. My already bestial appearance is even more feral. Yay, max health. So I gain 18 temp HP.
Mechanically, this is your shifter, yes?
Yes, I am shifted. And now 2 attacks coming for you.
Because of ridiculousness regarding Flint's multiple levels of werewolf.
Remember, kids, in actual lore, werewolf fights are very long and arduous.
All right, that's a 19 and a 16 to hit.
Yes. Do it.
Min damage. Uh, 15 slashing.
Hunter's Mark stays up. 15 damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
How you doing there, bud?
I'm fine. There's the predatory glint of red in his eyes as he failed the will save, but he can't go anywhere, so here we go. I'm sorry, Flint.
Oh, did you not 20?
I got a nat 20.
Nice.
I don't have enough dice.
So what this appears to be is that like Flint is clearly the bigger, stronger werewolf. He is a big, scary guy, and he has got Bartholomew pinned down. He is just like definitely just tearing flesh, but looking at this, he's basically like a cat on its back. Like he's exactly where he wants to be, and he's just going at him with all 4 claws. Getting that soft underbelly.
Get that soft underbelly.
Um, 26 points of slashing damage on the first hit, 4 points of lightning.
Well, there goes that temp HP.
Second attack.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it 20s. 15 and 6, 21.
Yep.
That's...
You're rolling good.
Bartholomew typically rolls good. It's the green dice. Caltrop. 6.
Ding
9,
the counter. It's the second time you've dropped your dice.
9 points of slashing damage, 4 points of lightning damage. Third attack is a no.
Cool. Keep that up. I'm starting to look a little worse for wear as I go in with 3 more attacks. Maybe one of these will hit.
No?
I swear. All right. One of them hits.
Yeah, you take a shit ton of health though when you hit, so.
Not really. I rolled all but one dice was still below 10.
Buddy.
So, buddy.
The dice are making up for last night.
6 points of slashing as I roll min damage too. Flint's having a bad day. He's obviously pretty conflicted about this.
Zuleika screams from the sideline, "Stop holding back!"
Which one?
She's clearly
Rooting
talking
for
to Flint.
Okay.
Yeah.
First attack is a no. Second attack is a definite no.
Yeah, I need you to start rolling some misses.
Shut up.
I need to make up some ground here.
Third attack's a yes. Fuck you. Yeah. This sucks. Why are we doing this? This sucks.
Because I told you, you're not supposed to be in charge of the werewolves.
Our parents suck. 6, 9, 12. 12 points slashing, 3 points lightning.
I'm getting there. You might do it. You might beat me to the punch.
Unless you get all of your rolls right
Unless
now.
I actually start rolling above a 10. Okay, well, I say that and there's an at 20.
Fuck me up, fam!
Ooh.
So I'll be talking to you guys about my new character today.
God.
You just bring Caleb into this game and put Speedy in the other one.
That's 11 points on the first attack.
How much?
11 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
That's a no for the second attack. And a 15 for the third attack.
You are adding your sneak attack. Wait, no, you can't do that.
I
because-
don't. I can't.
Never mind. Yeah,
Because my claws are not finesse weapons. And also,
this is correct.
one of the caltrops is stuck. Okay, cool. 11 more points on that last one. How you looking?
I'm pretty not good. I'm bloodied. But I also failed my wisdom save, so
Oh, okay. So shouting at you to just give up already isn't going to work.
red eyes. 14, 20.
Nice.
13 points slashing, 4 points lightning. Second one's a nat 1. Third one's a nat 1. What the
Yay!
fuck?
All right. The dice off
Fights.
continues.
The fight seems to be turning.
That was a with advantage. I must remind you, rolling with advantage. That's 2 nat 1s on both dice.
Flint thought he wanted to do this, but he really didn't.
All right, 2 attacks hit.
Cool. You might fuck me up here, fam.
<clears throat> 17 total.
Could you do it separate? Because I have to make a wisdom save for each time I
Oh.
take damage.
Yeah, it was 8 and 9.
Okay, cool. Cool. You see Bartholomew raise a claw like he's about to rake across you, but then he just lets it flop back. I yield.
He's gonna step back off of you like really quickly and just hold his claws out. Don't pursue being the leader of the pack. You're more useful elsewhere.
Well, as Skinnis says, by their ancient rites and customs, he'll push himself up, slowly sink back into himself, just grab his clothes and start hobbling out of the cave.
I'm gonna transform back into my humanoid shape and then kind of just walk over to the big pile of bones and stand there.
Now what?
Is that Zuleika?
That's Danae.
Oh.
Now what, Flint?
He's kind of deep in contemplation right now, staring at the bones.
All right. Zuleika comes over to you, and she just kind of stands behind you, and you know exactly what she wants. You are insufferable.
Here, not in front of the bones. Come on.
She has discussed this with you. Discussed this with you before. She wants you to take over the pack.
Why do I have to do it?
If you don't, someone else will.
What about?
And there's nothing stopping Bartholomew from coming back.
What about
This
Emil?
time
What's-
with seconds and thirds.
He made a promise.
And then if I take over, what happens next? Do what Bartholomew wanted to do? Free him up? It's just gonna be more and more trouble the entire time.
Well, if you won't do it, we'll find someone who will.
You know, Julian's bones are still down there. I still remember when I showed up to the tribe. I was so excited to become a werewolf, but I didn't know the cost. Seems like everything I do my entire life is just doing something I don't want to do, or doing something that costs too much. I'll take over, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
Zuleika gets really close to you. And it's an almost intimate moment. But something feels wrong about it. And she says, I never asked for your happiness.
He's gonna he's gonna storm out now.
Scene end.
Bartholomew would have went to like the nursery area to like just lay down for a while.
Oh god.
I'm so sorry.
It was
That's all
good.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
no.
do later, so I can apologize.
Ah, it's so good. I like this. That's spicy.
You got me down from 103 to 26.
I
You
will
were-
explain the things I can do with these dice. It's
There
amazing.
is God. There's some serious Knights in the Courtyard stuff here. We will come back to the werewolves. But for now, this situation has resolved. And we will return to it at such a time that it becomes appropriate.
Cool. You want me to take off then? I'll see you guys in Nights.
Thank you, Tyler.
Bye, Tyler. Bye.
Oh my god, is this just the guest roulette?
Oh god, if they all started coming in. Oh man, I wish I'd thought of that.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
On the technical aspect, that'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, no, God, I'm glad I didn't think of that. I wouldn't put Steven through that.
I would do it because I love you all.
Oh,
Aw.
speaking of Steven
Oh boy.
and how much he loves us, Actually, this has nothing to do with how much Stephen loves us. When we left off with you, you had just sat down with the abbot. He said, Kefris, you deserve the truth. And he was going to tell you the whole story about his relationship with the tome.
I am an eager listener.
Kefris, when so long ago, it seems now, I had been working with the Belleviews. I was able to cure their leprosy, but I was not able to make them whole again, no matter what I did. I have many holy abilities, but this was one thing that was beyond me. Then, one day, a woman came to me named Vasilka von Holtz, or at least that's what she introduced herself to me as. I knew right away that she was a woman of great power. I also knew that she was a woman of great evil. So I was understandably cautious. However, she insisted that she only wanted to help. I lent her my ear, and she showed me such wondrous things. And I was able to make the Belleviews whole again. Now, I don't know if you have guessed yet, but Vasilka von Holtz was not who she said she was. She revealed herself to be Strahd von Zarvich. Now, at this point, she starts giving me this sob story about how she lost her lover long ago, taken before her time. I was not keen to believe her. I sent her away to repent. And then I found the tome. And it turns out that everything she told me was true. This book was a recollection of this woman, Tatiana's, life. And they were very much in love. Now, Kefris, through my studies, I have been able to glean the fact that Tatiana's spirit, every generation or so, attaches itself to some poor woman, and Strahd pursues her relentlessly. If I could find this woman, I would be able to remove this spirit from her. You see, this is my work. I will remove the spirit from this woman and put it into a vessel. And then we can present it to Strahd, and there will be no more curse on this land.
And you believe this to be right?
Yes, with all my heart. This is how we save Barovia.
This is not the way we save Barovia, Abbot. This was never to be the way that we save Barovia. Strahd seeks a companion everlasting. If you were to create a vessel for a spirit, he would wear away, and it would fade like all others, just like we all do. The way that Strahd would seek this everlasting life would involve killing this spirit. And if this spirit doesn't want to be found, then we just start over again.
What makes you think the spirit doesn't want to be found?
If it didn't want to be found, how has it not been found already? If they were ever growing closer to each other, then would not the body that houses this spirit seek Strahd out and give themselves fully to them?
You don't understand. This is the curse that's on this land. This is the reason why Barovia is the way it is. These are two lovers that have been separated in a tragedy, and they are forever seeking each other, but the curse keeps them apart.
Then what of Strahd's other wives? Other brides? Are these failed attempts at housing the spirit?
Oh, certainly not. I believe that this is a failed attempt at trying to fill the void.
Abbott, I have a question. You said that you made the lepers whole again, that you made them into the Belleviews. They are becoming concerned. They are curious as to why, if you are able to make a figure such as Vasilka, your Vasilka, not the false Vasilka, that why you couldn't do something similar for them.
I'm afraid there's just not enough bodies in Barovia to...
But if, for example, the young boy who you cured, was this beyond your capabilities when the Belleviews were here, when they first started?
Oh, no, I did not cure that boy. That boy was just simply dead. And death is something that is not necessarily beyond me or my powers.
So if the lepers had died, you wouldn't have gone through the efforts of giving them crab claws and duck feet.
Kefris, they have died several times. These magics are not perfect, but I have been able to return life to them.
But it is an imperfect life. It is one filled with pain and heartache and preventing them from even going outside.
But what life is, Kefris? Are you not a worshipper of a god of suffering?
I am. And I see that suffering is plentiful here.
We do not seek out suffering, Kefris.
I believe that you have a skewed view of what Ilmata means. Is he the god of suffering? Yes. In the simplest terms, in the easiest way to understand. But he is the god of endurance, of perseverance, of pushing through. What these people have experienced, what they've gone through, haven't they suffered enough?
I can agree with that. But how do you propose we end their suffering?
There is no end. You alleviate. You heal. That's what we are here to do. As an abbot, you must understand that your job is to heal.
Certainly. And that is what I do every day.
Then why not speak to the burgomaster on their behalf? Let them into the sun. Let them interact with the townsfolk. Let them learn. Just because they look like a monster doesn't mean they are.
I have shielded the people and the Bellevues from each other for a long time. But the work that we have done here in these recent days, it does give me hope. Having cured, as you called it, the Burgomaster's son may give me a foothold in these negotiations.
Clovis has already begun to wander. The people are aware of what is inside these walls, but they think that they are monsters. You and I both know that is not true. They are simply lost children.
Then I certainly shall not dally.
Thank you.
Ruminate on what I've told you, Kefris. I do think that this is the way to save Barovia, and I will pursue it to the best of my abilities.
And I believe you. Wholeheartedly do I believe you. But it is on this matter that we differ.
He puts a hand on you, and you can feel an aura just radiating from him. A modern example might be standing next to an electric generator. You can just feel it vibrating through the air. And he just smiles at you with his angelic, perfect face. And then he stands up and he will descend into the city to begin negotiations on integrating the Mongol folk into society.
And then, as he leaves, Kefris wanted to go specifically to Marzena, the bat spider girl who was tied up in the courtyard.
Mm-hmm.
And he is going to try.
As you approach her, she's actually turned away from you, and you can see her shoulders are kind of hunched as though she's munching on something.
Kefris will approach, and if she's already munching on something, he will sit down next to her. If she doesn't immediately take flight.
Give me a perception check.
That's a 12.
Good enough. You notice that she already has a snack. Seems strange on account of the fact that, like, no bells have rung. It's nowhere near feeding time. She's chained to this post. You're not exactly sure where she could have gotten this snack. So as you sit down next to her, she has actually gotten quite used to your presence, so she doesn't shy away from you. You just kind of scan the area, and you notice something dart into the shadows as your eyes just kind of rake across it.
I'll follow it. I guess this darting thing.
All right. You follow it around a corner. It seems to be attempting to leave the vicinity of the Abbey. And you just go to the front door and kind of look around. And then you look down, you can see on the switchbacks, the Burgomaster's son is running down into the town.
I'll go back to Marzena. I'll sit down and I'll pull out one of my own rations. And I'll start chomping on it with her just to, like, have a little bit of lunch, I guess. And say, Did you find yourself a friend?
She just kind of chitters at you with her spider mandibles.
Can I insight if that's a good thing?
Sure.
Okay. That's a 13.
Seems friendly to you.
And Kefris will try his best to just have a chat with Marzena.
All right.
And let her know about the wonderful things outside of the walls.
It's very Han and Chewie-esque, where like you have kind of a one-sided conversation with her, and she will chitter back at you every now and then, but you are able to kind of infer from context what she is trying to communicate to you. At some time during the conversation, she will hobble over to the well and just stretch as far as she can get with her leash and put half of that ration up on the wall of the well. And you see a webbed hand come up and take it and then go back into it.
And Kefris will... How tall is Marzena?
Ooh, all of the Bellevues are roughly dwarf-sized.
Okay. So Kefris is going to pat Marzena's back and will say, kindness will always get you much farther than being cruel. And then he'll give her a hug.
Aw.
And just gentle squeeze, and then he will tell her that he will be back for her.
Okay. She's taken to putting her long dark hair, like putting it back behind her ear, at least on one side of her face. You can see she has glittering spider eyes there. And when you pull back from the hug, you can see underneath the other side of her face there is a human eye. And she just looks at you gratefully.
I want to comb her hair. I want to brush it.
God, you're awful. I mean, I say that a lot. I love it. This is wonderful. Please proceed. You have a sleepover with the Bellevues.
Yeah. Take care of them. And then when I can't, like, after that's all said and done and it's still light outside, and I know I have enough time to get back to Vallaki with it being light outside, I will do that thing. If not, I will stay over in Kresk and then just leave the following morning.
Okay. Well, Silme.
Hello.
The first 3 days are spent just resting and recovering from the exhaustion that you accrued from reading the tome. This is some good quality time with Maybelle. As she takes on the role of caretaker, like just this is what she is meant to do. And she refuses to let you out of bed, and she refuses to let you get near the tome, and you are brought soup and tea, and flowers are put in the windowsill. Nice ones that don't really mean anything.
Yep.
And she just she spends a lot of time just hanging out with you and trying to make sure that you are recovering well.
Do we discuss her memories at all? Her memories of the crossover event?
She usually tries to avoid talking about them. They seem to confuse her more than anything, and it causes her no small amount of distress. She seems to be more keen on just starting over.
Sure. Silme will respect that, and I think every once in a while, if Silme's like taking notes or something, like working through her own process, and she's handed a cup of tea or something, she might slip up and just say, "Thank you, my love," and like not catch it. But in general, she's trying to avoid
Give me an insight check.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. That would be insight 11.
11. Well, she nat one, so it's quite obvious on her face that she like heard what you said, processed it, and then very pointedly did not address it.
Yeah.
And for like the next hour or so, she's a bit terse, and just like flushed completely blue.
Yeah. Mabel or Silme will avoid any loving remarks as much as possible. She will ask Mabel to read to her every once in a while, just from a random book that she has, just mindlessness.
Okay.
As like that was something that they used to do that makes Silme feel more comfortable and gives her a little bit of a memory of their past together.
All right. She will do this eagerly. And I think she will, even like towards the last few days of your recovery, take you outside, and you two can sit under a tree, have a picnic. And while it brings back painful memories for you, she just seems to be enjoying herself. And she seems happy.
Good.
As you are getting ready to begin your readings anew with the tome, Irina has volunteered to watch over you as you do so that you don't get too invested.
Yeah.
And as you are getting ready to do that, you will notice that orb that you had received from your friend in the dreamscape, whatever it was.
Yes.
You notice something different about it that wasn't necessarily clear before. Like, how big is this thing? Is it like big? Oh, geez. Okay, it's
like
it's
a snow
quite,
globe size.
It's quite large, and I'll say it even has like an opalescent sheen to it.
Sure.
And as you're just sort of moving through the room, the light catches it in a different way. And you see that a thin crack has started on the side of it.
Silme will pick it up and take a look at it. Can I make like an arcane check to see what's going on with this?
Sure.
Because I don't know what it is, right?
Do any of us, really?
Oh, I rolled a nat 1, so that's a 7.
Okay. It must have gotten dropped or bumped at some point.
Aww.
It's really kind of a shame. It's a nice item.
Oh, she'll mention to Mabel that it should probably be kept somewhere safe, put away in wrapped in cloth and stuff.
She can do that for you. She'll wrap it up in a nice plush velvet cloth and put it away in a little chest. You're a noble. You have random tiny chests for things.
Duh. Hey, I wear a corset most of the time, so you'll never know, okay?
Are you ready to continue your readings?
I am.
All right. As you open up the tome to the place where you left off, you will remember that when you last left off, Strahd had just learned that she had a younger brother of 10 years that is going to take the throne instead of her. So years go by. Strahd makes peace with the fact that she is not going to take the throne. The people of Barovia looked more to Tatiana anyway, and she was content with letting her deal with the bureaucracy of everyday life. However, Tatiana can't help but feel that Strahd is growing restless. With no enemy to fight, no goal to pursue, there's no better way to say it, Strahd is growing bored. The only time that she seems happy is when they steal a few moments alone together. And Tatiana comes to realize that she's happy too. Construction on Castle Ravenloft is completed, and then Strahd sends for her family. Strahd's father never comes to Barovia. He found another crusade to undertake in some distant land and does not reunite with his family for several more years. Strahd doesn't seem surprised. Her mother, Queen Ravenova, arrives, and she finally meets her younger brother, Sergei, for the first time. He is a scrappy, bright-eyed young boy, raised on tales of his older sister's valor and bravery. And the two of them couldn't be any more different. Strahd wants nothing to do with him, and Tatiana splits her time between shielding Sergei from Strahd's vitriol and Strahd from Sergei's enthusiasm. On account of her experience and status, Tatiana gets roped into training the boy to be king of Barovia. Tatiana is at first annoyed by Sergei. She takes to calling him kid on account of his youthful, goat-like stubbornness. She has to tutor him daily, and they become friends out of necessity. As time goes on, she's softened to his plight. She realizes that he's been compared to his sister all of his life, and is desperate to prove himself. All the while, Strahd is constantly avoiding him. At some point, Tatiana feels it would be best if she and Strahd took a holiday, take a page out of King Barov's book and find something to conquer. This idea seems to lift Strahd's spirits, and so they make preparations to leave and do some adventuring. Queen Ravenova thinks that this is a good idea as well. She insists that they take Sergei along. Now, these readings are occurring over the span of about 5 days.
Yeah.
I just wanted to remind you. Traveling with the Tsarevich siblings is miserable. Tatiana finds herself trying to stifle a powder keg where Sergei is desperate to earn Strahd's approval, whilst Strahd barely contains her disdain for him. As time goes on, there are blowouts, arguments, and rough patches, but they eventually start to come around to one another. There's just no resisting the ride-or-die dynamic of an adventuring party. The siblings eventually come to an agreement that their parents were pretty awful to both of them. Strahd, Sergei, and Tatiana become an inseparable trio. They blow past every challenge they face with little trouble, until finally Strahd feels that they are ready for the Amber Temple. Now, this is where things start to get really juicy. Everything that you can glean from this text about the Amber Temple seems to imply that it is a treasure trove of arcane knowledge, evidently a secret society of wizards built an obsidian temple coated with amber somewhere deep in the Balinok Mountains several thousand years ago. It's a vault containing the vestiges of dead, malevolent entities that wizards defeated and sealed away, along with mountains of treasure and forbidden knowledge. It's just the sort of thing that Strahd is interested in, so the three of them make their preparations and go. Strahd has the architect of Ravenloft prepare a model of the castle and brings it along as an offering of knowledge to appease the spirits of the temple. There are several pages ripped from the tome at this point. It's clearly supposed to be the records of the inside of the temple, but whatever happened in there seems to have taken the wind out of the group's sails. They return home. Strahd returns to Ravenloft to the news that King Barov has died. Preparations are made for Sergei's coronation, but there's one problem. He needs to marry in order to take the throne. Queen Ravenova chooses Tatiana to be Sergei's bride.
Oh no.
It's a purely political move, marrying him off to a powerful figurehead native to the land. Tatiana is willing to take on this duty, if only to ensure that her people prosper. However, she concludes that her heart will always belong to Strahd. The tome ends here. You also find, it seems that Tatiana did all of Strahd's bookkeeping, and this doubles as Strahd's spell book. And I gave LB all of these spells over the break, so she's had a chance to peruse them. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty much at this point that Silme realizes that, hey, there's a bunch of spells in here.
Silme just like turns the last page, she just goes, oh, and holds the book to herself. Thank you, Tatiana. She is going to attempt to learn some of them. if she can.
All right. Do you have any in particular that you have in mind?
Yes, I have 4 that I would like to learn.
All right.
I know I need money for this. Could I perhaps go to Lady Vakhther's house to attempt to get some magical inks and supplies so that I don't have to specifically spend gold for it?
All right. Cool. Yeah, I will say that there are enough resources in Lady Wachtter's home for these 4 spells. But anything beyond that, you're going to have to
Sure
find something.
I mean, I'll take
more.
as many as I can, but I have to do 50 gold for each spell. Is that right?
It depends on the spell level and what kind of spell. For you, transmutations are halved.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. Do you want to know what they are?
I would like to, yes.
Okay.
I'm
gonna take.
Curious.
I'm going to take Encode Thoughts, Mage Armor, Mirror Image, and Private Sanctum.
All right. Makes sense.
Thanks.
From this text, you are able to spend some time basically mapping out their movements throughout Barovia, and you figure out that the Amber Temple is here. It is within the mists. It is something that you could possibly go to.
Yeah.
And the Amber Temple is said to hold vast amounts of knowledge that evidently Strahd was interested in. And on the other hand, there is also a 1-to-1 model. Well, I guess it's not 1-to-1. There is a model of Castle Ravenloft there as well.
1-to-1 would just be another Castle Ravenloft.
It's a 1 to 140.
It's only a model. Like
1/4.
So I would like to gather the group after the break.
That's you are right. You're right on top of it. That's exactly what I was gonna say. All right.
Checkmate.
So let's go ahead and take a break. We will reconvene to speak about this temple.
Yes, so we are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go no place unless just to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, and we will see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I didn't do the buttons right.
What does that mean?
And we're back. Hello, everybody. So, Silme, you're calling the group together?
I'm muted, yes.
So by this point, it has been five days? 5 days? No, it's been 8 days. How many days did it take for you to read through the tome? You had a number of days, and then, God, I had this.
So 3 days to recover, 5 days to read.
1, 2.
So that's 8.
4, 5. Yes, 8 days.
Holy shit, this is the longest we've done nothing. Like, we've done stuff, but like, normally it's like, how long have we been here? 3 weeks?
No, it's been like a month and a half now.
I mean, it's hard to keep track of time right now, but on account of the fact that Strahd fucked with the moon like a week ago.
Yeah. Yes, I would like to call everyone together again. I realized I haven't used Silme's voice at all tonight.
You have.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Go on. So, meeting in my room.
Who are you calling? Like, are we including Ismark and Irina, or is it just us 3? And Maybell.
I'm going to say just us 3 and Maybell.
Okay.
Before this, I'm going to cast... I forgot it's not on my spell list right now. But I am going to pick up private sanctum and cast that.
All right. What is the text on that?
It lasts for 24 hours. You make an area within range magically secure. It takes 10 minutes to cast. The area is a cube that can be as small as 5 feet or up to 100 feet on each side. The spell lasts for the duration until you use an action to dismiss it. When you cast a spell, you decide what sort of security the spell provides, choosing any of the following properties. Creatures spell can't appear as creatures in the area cannot be targeted by divination spells.
Nice. That's almost exactly what you would want.
Thank you, brother. So yeah, she'll, as you guys walk in, you kind of feel this like little tinge. By the way, has Silme and Kefris talked about the fact that Kefris can cast spells now?
No.
Nope. Okay, it hasn't been. Okay.
I mean, we
How
had
did you
8
explain
days.
Ismark?
It's been 8 days.
Uh-huh.
I have not had to explain Ismark, actually. I cured him, and then we moved into the next set of days where it was totally cool.
I mean, we never addressed it.
Mm-hmm.
We can address it if you would like.
I would love to address it.
All right.
So first time Silme sees Ismark, she does like a quick like get behind Speedy.
Fine.
He's fine. It's fine.
Oh, it's like the dumbest, most mundane thing that he could be doing. He's trying to act casual, and then he like knocks over a vase and tries to catch it, but it drops.
He's leaning against a shelf and his like elbow above. Oh.
There's something I want you all to know. Father Lucian and it's going to sound
Are a
crazy.
couple what?
It's going to sound crazy. We prayed.
You prayed the vampirism away.
It sounds crazy. I realize that.
Does he know a spell that could do this?
A what?
A spell. Because as much as I mean, like, there's praying and then there's like channeling your
We didn't cure the vampirism.
right.
He's still a vampire, but we were able to show that he was capable of being redeemed. This isn't something that he wanted. And I felt good about it. It felt right. I thought about one of the rituals that we would sometimes do at the temple, and so I believed in it as hard as I could. And I hoped that it would work, and I prayed to Ilmada in the hopes that it would.
22. Is he talking about magic?
I mean,
Does he believe he's
Not in-
talking about
Yeah,
magic?
not in an intelligent way. I mean, not in an intelligent sense. Like, it's not arcane magic.
Yeah, this was an
what-
insight check.
What he is describing right now seems to be the most bare bones, like, basic way to perform divine magic, which is to say through ritual and then just hope your god does something.
Cool. Sylvie's eyes like narrow, looks at Speedy.
Speedy's hands are in Ismark's mouth as he's looking at the fangs.
I hadn't gotten a chance to tell you yet. But the other night, at this point, roughly 2 to 4 days ago. Wait, no, is this day 8? Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Some
3
time
to
ago.
8 days ago.
No, we showed Ismark on like day 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this probably is
I had
day
a
1.
dream. I had a dream yesterday evening that I was standing and I saw that there were bones, and it was the bones that we put back, and they were in the cords that I tied the bones with cords, and I thought about how the people of Barovia needed a place where they could recuperate. And I prayed to Ilmater, and I hoped that it worked, and there was
Mm-hmm.
and he's just like motioning outwards with his arms.
Silme takes his hand. I think you did something very nice.
But I had a dream.
Oh.
I had a dream where I saw those bones, but the bones were on fire, so I stood on the fire, and then there was... It was the 2 children from back at the house.
Valda
Oh.
and Thornbolt.
I saw them,
Oh.
and I extended my arm out to them, and they extended their hands out to me. And the fire that had engulfed me engulfed them. And it engulfed the maid, and it engulfed everyone that the maid knew, and everyone that they knew, and it kept going. It didn't burn me. But in this place of darkness, we were the light. And so, the next day, before Ismark, after I lost my axe,
You gave it away, but that's fine.
I would never do that. That does not sound like something I would do. Please don't spread rumors about me. I went back to those bones and I sought guidance. And I knew that I was heard. And I knew in that moment that was when I needed to try. To try and fix a wrong that I made. I told both of those siblings that the other was safe. And we have seen where that gets us. But as of now, as of right now, he is fine. She's fine.
Conversation is occurring between the siblings, like down a hallway, and
Everyone can
Bartholomew.
hear it clearly.
I mean, Bartholomew, Ismark, and Irina are like across the hall, and they're all interacting with each other, just kind of like in this scene soundlessly. It begins with Ismark knocking over a vase, and it continues with Bartholomew like sticking his fingers in Ismark's mouth.
I am so glad to hear this, and I think I'm glad that your God has given you this opportunity and this ability.
Everyone has said, since I've got here, if they've looked at me, and my God has given me a blessing, this is the first time I feel like it's been actionable.
To be fair, I've never said that. I mean, I know I'm supposed to be the good-looking one in the family, but...
Oh, You mean this? Sister, I'm gorgeous. What do you mean?
Yes. Oh, you'll be fighting the ladies off, I'm sure, when we get
Oh,
back.
I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
They'll come
And
after
if
me
we
with
let them keep
pitchforks and
going, they will
torches.
go on for the entire night. So we're going to move on.
All right. So everyone goes into my room. You feel a little tingly as you come inside.
Is that something I have to worry about, Silme?
I'm sorry?
I felt
Do
a
you
tingling
not?
sensation.
Oh, do you not normally feel that?
God.
No, I've placed a barrier on this room so we can speak freely. And so we can... I will stall until Speedy comes back from closing the door.
And it's just the three of you?
And Maybell.
And Maybell.
Mabel.
Okay. And Maybell.
And Maybell was there too. And I'll explain the story of the Tome of Strahd, basically, and what I've learned from it. And so this Amber Temple is in Barovia. It's a place we can go to. They have incredibly powerful items there and such.
Yes, but it's also filled with, as you said, the things the wizards have defeated and sealed away.
Yes, well, we do not... Remember when we don't open things that we don't know about?
The get-along bottle?
The get-along bottle.
Mm. Wasn't that you who opened it, though?
I thought that was Kefris.
I'm pretty sure it was you.
It
No,
was you.
I don't recall that. I think it was Kefris. Anyways, what I'm
I don't
saying
either.
is...
That's...
Thank you, Maybell.
Wait, what?
Right.
You're a delight.
Anyways, it's a place that we can go, and they have a scale model of Ravenloft. Plus, now we know more about Tatiana and her brother, and we can use that against her.
No, it wasn't Tatiana's
Strahd's brother.
Strahd's
Strahd's
brother.
Sergei is Strahd's
Why
brother.
would
Yes,
why
no,
would
no.
Queen Ravenova
There
marry
was
No,
a
no, no.
comma. There was
she
a comma
said,
in there.
She said her brother, her referring to Strahd.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Maybell.
Thank
Oh,
you.
you're welcome.
Well, if anything, there might be another sun sword in there, so...
It might be
it's
something
probably-
similar or more powerful, actually. We don't know. But apparently, there was some... She holds up the book. There are some pages that are missing from when they went there. So perhaps they can sense people's motivations. Or something. And she didn't get what she wanted. Otherwise, she would have things that would make her more powerful.
Mm. Consensus, I think it's worth a look.
Do you know where it is, Speedy?
If you give me a general idea, I could...
Between
Do
the
I-
two of you, you
Okay.
can triangulate pretty much exactly where this should be. LB's getting out a map.
It's your map!
I have nothing to say to you, sir.
Mother.
It is going to be X on your map. It is located on the heights of the Balanok Mountains. You are aware that it is going to be quite cold up there, so you should dress accordingly. Dress and prepare accordingly.
Looks like it's about a 5-hour walk from here, roughly.
You have to do a lot of switchbacks.
All right.
So
For that matter, you're going to go past Flint's Cave.
we could pick up Sasha.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Does she listen to us now?
She's a cat. She does whatever she pleases.
That sounds about right.
Do
How
we
did it go
really-
with the...
Do we really want to bring
I mean, on the way
Sasha
back. On
into...
Not the Ember Temple, on the way back.
Oh, I see.
Because Flint is spending all his time now at the werewolf cave.
What happened with that?
I lost the fight.
With Flint.
So does that mean Flint's pack leader now?
Well, the stipulation of his deal was that I wouldn't pursue being pack leader anymore.
You're still
So-
part of the pack, yes?
Probably, I don't know. I left the day after to recover my wounds. After I recovered my wounds.
And do we have any allies within the pack?
Flint, maybe?
Give me a retroactive persuasion check. With advantage for being a very good wolf boy.
What's the D20? Where's Speedy? Goddamn you! Oh, thank you for that. 16.
All right. It's not bad. You do know that there are a number of people in the pack that are not interested in following Strahd. Like, there is probably only a handful that are interested in following Strahd, and the rest are either expressly against it or basically just kind of being bullied into it by the louder minority.
There are some people that I wouldn't say oppose Strahd, but they do not like her. I do not know if they, if called upon, will fight with us when the time comes, but they could always... The worst they can do is say no, right?
I suppose.
Oh. While I have you all here, my mother informed me that the werewolf that bit her is in Castle Ravenloft.
Oh, good. Does
Are they for Strahd or against Strahd?
In the dungeons, so I guess
Oh.
against.
Okay, so that is good news.
that is good news.
That's good
Does
news on many accounts.
Does your mother want to not be a werewolf anymore?
Oh, I think she does not want to be a werewolf anymore.
Well, then perfect. That's we'll call that a side quest.
Are we questing now? Is that what we're doing?
We're trying to kill a big bad monster. Are we not questing?
There is no monetary reward after this, so it's more like...
Oh, Speedy, we owe you money. Yes, there will be a reward.
He waves his hand. I told Kefris that I don't charge friends.
Oh.
It
She
was
hugs him.
very sweet.
Well, I mean, maybe there's not monetary value, but there is like the value of all of the lives of the people we're saving. So, oh my gosh,
Sentimental value.
we're going to have to get them sun protection. They're going to burn very quickly. Maybe we
What?
should have them start making parasols.
What?
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking ahead.
What do you mean burn very quickly, sister?
Who are we burning and why?
No, in the sun. The people of Barovia. They've never seen it before. The skin isn't acclimated to it, therefore their skin will
Sunburn.
burn in the sunlight. What are you talking
Okay.
about?
I've seen the sun.
Look, we've been in
what?
Barovia for a while. Wait, no, hold on. Speedy, where? Was it Valaki?
No, I've seen the... I can't remember, but it's a big fireball in the sky. It's very
Yes.
hard to look at.
You've
It
seen
hurts
some.
sometimes.
When?
Oh, you're not supposed to look at it, Mr. Speedy.
Wait. When?
I
Sylvie pulls out her notes.
You
don't
have a
remem-
elongated conversation about your strange dream.
Yeah, I had a strange dream. Maybe from what you guys were talking about, I figured that's
So-
what it looked like.
You and Maybelle had a very similar dream, if not the same dream. This is something must discuss on the road.
While we're walking.
What's stinky
What?
face?
Stinky face is, you're saying that you, Speedy,
Okay, we're gonna have this conversation. All
all
right.
had the shared dream.
Walking
all
towards
tripping
the
balls.
general store.
Kefris, it seems like you're the only one who's tripping balls here.
Now you're just being petty.
I get the feeling I'd know if I were.
Think something owl heads. I will take a trip down to the general store to get cold weather gear
All right.
or loot cold weather gear.
Get you some cold weather gear.
I wanted.
Steps back in. Silme, I need money. My coin pouch kind of disappeared on me.
Oh, of course. She hands you 98 Electrum.
I thought you guys were broke.
I sold things. I told you. That's why I wanted to pay you.
Cold weather gear.
All right. However much that costs. It's got to be like 2 silver a thing.
It's probably gold, actually.
Just say yes. It's totally silver.
Silver.
You go ahead and look that up whilst I ask some more questions. Irina and Ismark. Are they coming? Do you tell them where you're going?
I think we'd tell them where we're going. I would want to.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
They would actually like to come. Ismark feels the need to learn the dynamic of the group if he is to fight alongside you against Strahd.
Mm-hmm.
And Irina doesn't want to be left alone.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, she has been deteriorating over the past 8 days. She has become more reclusive. She doesn't seem to be sleeping. There are dark circles under her eyes. And she's just, her mental health does not seem to be at its height.
I think on the way, Silme might have a conversation with her.
Feel free.
Cool. Are we good to go? Yep. Okay. So as we're making our way, are we taking the cart?
There's room
Yeah.
for everyone.
I mean,
Well, the problem is those switchbacks. I don't know how thin they are.
Right. All right. We can walk.
it would be
Put on
treacherous.
my walking shoes.
Everybody add some traveler's clothes because there's no cold weather gear.
That's fine.
That's essentially it. That traveler's clothes will do.
So Irina, what did you think of the tome?
Seemed like a lot of reading for a small amount of useful information.
I mean, I think there was a lot of useful information in there. Did you not glean anything from it?
Give me an insight check.
Okay. 8.
Cool. You can't tell necessarily how she feels about the tome. You know that she started acting differently since coming in contact with it, but it confounds you.
Because I know that you were being drawn to the tome and the contents thereof, and I think that, well, if I'm going to be honest, I think that there is a reason that Strahd has chosen you as the object of her affection. And do you understand what I'm saying?
She looks at you with just tired eyes and says, "What is that reason?"
Because perhaps you are the reincarnation of her lost love?
She blinks as though she's got a headache. That is very concerning.
Yes. But it doesn't mean you are any different. It means that she's got hang-ups and needs to get over it.
Can I admit something to you?
Sure.
I don't know exactly who I am anymore.
What do you mean?
whoever Tatiana is, she has thoughts. She has emotions. And I don't know if I do.
Because of the soulless thing.
She just kind of looks off into the distance.
Well, if I've learned anything in Barovia, it's that you don't need to have a soul of your own to have emotions and feelings. And I mean, look at Speedy.
Speedy has taken Ismark and he's like motioning him for him to follow him around like the corner of a house real quick.
Okay.
He has a family that he loves. You have a love for your brother, do you not?
She nods, and like puts a hand on her forehead. She seems to be in some amount of pain.
Yeah.
Perhaps, but it has become very difficult for me to discern where I end and she begins.
I can imagine it is quite difficult. I mean, obviously I don't know, but I think you need something to hold on to. Something that you know is yours. Something that you can focus on. And she takes her hand. I don't mean to cause you more harm, because I can see that you are hurting. And that this knowledge and this thing that is going on with you is painful. But I think that what you need to focus on are the things that you know to be truths for you. Your love for your brother, your friendship with us, your feelings towards my brother, whatever they may be.
She grips your hand as though you're a tether that's keeping her from getting lost at sea.
Mm-hmm.
I will try to do this. And she like looks into your eyes for the first time, it feels like, during this conversation, and she says, I don't want her there anymore.
Well, we're trying to get her out. Hopefully they can be reunited when the barrier falls. And you will be able to live your life the way you wish to, in the sun.
She takes a deep breath, and you can see her put up her walls again, bolster herself, and she says, all right, well, back into the fray.
Just squeeze her hand and, push on.
Okay.
Catfish, my boots are getting so dirty. Why are you picking the worst path?
Is Bartholomew having a conversation with Ismark?
He just asks Ismark to pick up his clothing when he's finished and asks for Ismark to leave real quick.
I'm sorry, what?
He's going into his wolf form.
Oh. Okay. Why?
His actual four-legged wolf form, because it's the first time and he wants to try it.
Oh, okay. God. Listen, I'm not usually the person to do this, but that sounded really suggestive.
We are banging right here, right now.
I take him around the corner and I ask him to pick up his clothes when he's finished. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
He can do that. He can do that for you.
Cool.
So Ismark comes around the corner, holding Bartholomew's clothes, and kind of jogs to catch up with Kepris.
Oh, wait, why are you all walking so slowly?
Sorry, what?
What?
You were jogging up to me?
because he had just gone around a building with Bartholomew. He jogged to catch up with you.
Where's Speedy?
Oh, he I think he wanted to try out a different form. He's a werewolf now.
No, I get that part. But
I'm
like a
supposed
wolf?
Yes.
As you ask this, around the corner trots a 4-legged, brown-coated wolf with like a gash across the forehead.
Silme pulls up her spellbook.
Kefris just sits there and mutters to himself, awesome. Speedy?
I'm not gonna scratch his
so
ears.
cool.
All right.
It's the boy.
You look wonderful, darling. Can you still understand us?
If a wolf could smile,
Doggos can smile.
They can.
there's the slightest twitch at the corner, and then it's just the quizzical.
Oh my god, he's so cute.
That's fucking adorable.
Are you planning on
big-
scouting ahead, Speedy?
Is that a yes? We need a system.
One
Yes?
2 no.
Does
Is
this
this
make sense to you?
Pause the ground once.
No, like
Interesting.
make a verbal thing. I can't. If I'm not looking at you when I ask the question, how am I supposed to know what you said if you don't just at me?
Can I touch your fur?
You know in the cartoons when the dogs shrug, he just sits on his hind legs and just attempts, then wobbles to the side.
Oh no.
She's gonna go up and just like rub the back of his head, like scritch him right at the neck. She looks at him and she's, I'm sorry, let's move on. This has gotten weird.
His tail wags furiously.
There are pup shenanigans. And whilst the five of you
Yeah.
make your way towards the Balanok Mountains, Irina makes a point not to walk near Kefris, and Ismark seems to notice that. So he does make a point to walk near Kefris.
You know, I was thinking about going and talking to your sister. She and I, while we were out and you were at the castle, she and I began talking more frequently. You know what? Fuck it. She's my friend. And it's been about 8 days or so since, well, you regained your senses, and she and I really haven't spoken about it at all.
Oh.
And
So what did you do?
Well, nothing. I haven't done anything. I know giving you your sensibilities back was the right thing to do. So I don't know why she would seem upset.
Well, it happens sometimes. She tries to keep things professional, but she can definitely hold a grudge. I remember this one time I told her that this weird mold that we found down by the lake was jelly beans, and she was so ticked with me.
It was a solid prank. Good-natured, wholesome fun. I understand why she might be upset, though. I get
it
it.
is. I mean, like, you know, it is.
Yes.
It was a prank,
I have a younger
obviously,
sister, too.
but she has a thing about lying.
You don't say.
It is very important to her for people to be truthful.
What if you weren't truthful in the moment, but you fixed it?
It is the president.
Okay.
Because the only thing worse than lying is making her feel like she, or rather, making her feel like you believe she's not capable.
Oh, yes, no, I've already had that talk.
Oh?
Yeah. So, if you don't mind, I think I'm going to try and apologize.
It's a good start.
That's all I can really do at this point. I honestly don't believe that this is going to be the end of it.
Meanwhile, she's still angry at me with the jelly beans, so I'm going to
Oh, that's fine. Yep.
going to hang back here with Wolf Speedy.
All right. And then
Yo.
Kefris will hang
The
back.
dog says yo.
Yeah, he'll hang back and approach Irina and say, with everything that was going on in town, given our sudden absence and the fact that I was a screw-up, I figured that I would go out of my way and try and get something for you as a means of saying I am sorry. And he will show her the silver longsword that he picked up.
She kind of looks at you.
He just
Takes
has
the
his
sword.
head down.
She just takes it. Oh, please. I may be nobility, but so are you.
Actually, no. I gave that up. I've just been a regular dum-dum this whole time and not a dum-dum that has any sort of backing. I wanted to let you know that I hope this isn't a jelly bean situation.
She shoots a glare at Ismark, and he just, like, looks away, whistling.
Speedy has darted off as she glares. Alone, Ismark.
He turns around and, like, raises his hands at you.
But this has been one of the longest stretches I felt that I've experienced since coming here, and I feel like that was partially in due to the fact that I wasn't able to talk to one of my best friends. And I know that it's not that I couldn't vocalize it, but I didn't know how to word it, and I didn't know where to begin. And I'm sorry.
When you say best friend, there is a softness in her eyes. And you can see that she's been feeling the same loss of not being able to speak with someone that sees you eye to eye. And while she doesn't necessarily say it, you get the idea that she forgives you. Kefris, I need someone to trust me.
I do.
That may not be smart, because I don't know if I can trust myself.
I've been there.
And she spends a lot of this talk with you just opening up and letting you know how she's been feeling over the past few days. She discusses the things that she's discussed previously with Bartholomew and Silme, and basically says she's afraid that she is Tatiana and she doesn't know where the border is and that she doesn't want her there anymore.
I have a very important question for you, and this may change the direct causality of your future. How do you feel about jelly beans?
I don't think they exist.
Because you've never seen them, or because you've never had one?
She squints at you, distrustful. She's been fed this talk before.
I don't have them. I don't have them on me. I'm going to let you know. But when you were growing up, did you believe that there was an outside world?
I
Did
still
you
believe there is one.
How young were you when you found out that there was a land beyond the mists, or have you always known?
I've always known.
And what was that based off of?
Stories. The stories that everyone tells. The adventurers that come in.
Then I have another question for you. When was the first time you heard of Ilmater?
From you.
And do you believe in Ilmater?
I think there's something to it.
Tatiana would never have known. This is your knowledge, not hers. So if you were the same person, you would never have known. But you are you who you are now. You are someone who knows about Ilmater. You are somebody who has met a walking, talking Bellevue. You have experiences and you have beliefs and you have things that you like that she most certainly does not, and you have things that you have a distrust and a distaste for that she thought keen. You are not this person. You're Irina. Not Indiro, although sometimes, but you are my friend. I don't know this Tatiana. From the way that she was described from Silme's readings, I don't know if I would have liked Tatiana.
She looks kind of pensive, and she looks off to the side and says almost imperceptibly, I think she knows you.
And what does she know about me?
Anything I do.
then what is her read of me? Because if she hates me and she loves Strahd, then that's something that I feel is in my benefit.
I do not want to dwell on her.
You don't have to. I know that me saying that you don't have to isn't going to make the situation any better. I know that's not going to stop you from doing just that thing. But if you want, we can play traveling games or something. I can do my best to help you get whatever it is off your mind.
All right. Let us not dwell on things that cannot be changed.
That's what you've all taught me. And he makes a motion to his monstrous form.
The rest of this journey, she seems to attempt to take on a lighter tone. She has had enough of dwelling on her own problems and just seems to want to move on. While your words may not have comforted her, the fact that you attempted to does.
Always gotta try.
Always gotta try. And, you know, if there's anything that Kefris is good at, it's trying. So as you are making your way up through the Balanok Mountains, you do realize that not taking the cart was probably a good idea. It progressively gets colder, the air gets thinner. The mist seems to drop away, and it is almost a transcendent experience as the mountain rises up above the mists of Barovia. It's almost like you have exited Strahd's influence. Almost. Because the mists are still just barely there. And when you look above, you can see that there is this dark haze of clouds that just blankets above where the sky should be, where stars and moon and sun. Instead, there's just these darkness. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, at some point before they hit the switchbacks, Speedy would have probably grabbed his clothes off of, I don't know, maybe Maybell had folded them neatly, disappeared into the woods, and then came back.
All right. And it is cold up here, like frigid. This is like tundra weather. Y'all have got to get your gloves on. You got to get your hats and parkas.
I think it was a mistake changing back into me.
You were warm as a wolf.
There are
And
certain places I can't scratch.
there comes a moment where you roll around another switchback, and after all of this grayness and darkness and snow, you are suddenly met with a golden wonder. There is the front of the Amber Temple, which is carved into the mountain itself. It is large, and there are these amber statues that are lined up outside of it, and these enormous set of golden doors.
By the gods.
By your gods. What is, how do you, what's the word? Opulent?
Indeed. Bougie?
I think that's a word I would use. Opulent would be
Gaudy.
what-
Gaudy, yes,
Gaudy.
thank you.
That
I mean,
is
it's
the word.
beautiful.
Don't get me wrong. Lovely construction, years to make, more than likely.
Probably on the back.
Oh, do I not like it?
This is unsettling.
It is a very ancient architecture. The statues appear to be wearing strange clothing that you don't recognize from any culture you've ever seen.
Interesting. How old is Strahd?
300 odd years old.
This is much older than that.
Thousands of years.
Well,
Well, there were people in this valley before she came, so
yes. Shall we?
Standing
Um,
outside of the temple and looking at it with your passive Speedy, you get the faint whiff of smoke, of what smells like a cook fire.
somebody's here.
Inside.
No, there's smoke on the wind. Can I triangulate, or is it like
Sure, give me a actual perception check.
advantage because I'm a sniffy boy?
Sniff, sniff, sniff.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. All right. You get the idea that it is coming from somewhere off to the left, like stage left of the temple. You kind of like sniff, 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 and you look over at where the temple, like just the left half of it, begins to crumble a little bit. It seems that there was some sort of seismic event that opened up a crevice in the rock right next to the temple. And you can smell it. The smoke seems to be coming from that direction. And looking closer at it, you can see that there are muffled footprints that have just been filled back in by the snow
Just gonna
going
hold-
into it.
Hold people back. There are people here.
Well, are they the people who live here?
Well, it wouldn't be the people who live here because from what you read, Strahd, Tatiana, and Sergei came in here.
And then they left. They don't talk about anything else when they're in here. So that, I mean, there very well could be people who live in here.
For thousands of years with no interaction with anybody else on the outside.
Yep.
Irina's
I mean,
they're
just kind of
wizards.
looking up at the temple,
Mhm.
just still kind of gobsmacked by the grandeur of it. And she blinks and looks at you and says, well, aren't there people that live in the mountains?
You're right. Speedy goes into his pocket and crushes a leaf of mistletoe and a bark of spruce and casts Pass Without a Trace on the group. So we all get a +10 on stealth checks.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Let's
And we
go
don't
see him.
leave footprints.
Let's go sneak up on him and kill him.
Silme. What? Is this
Sorry,
it?
this land has just gotten to me.
Are we offended? Should we be offended?
No, I'm kidding. I didn't
I
say that
think
in
I'm a
character.
I think we're offended.
Big old doors. Time to open them.
No.
No.
There are people to the left.
There are people stage left. That's why I cast Pass Without a Trace.
Sorry, you were
Got
you were
it.
away for this bit.
So
All right.
Like, are we gonna check on him?
Gonna sneak because I rolled for it and I want to say this number out loud.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I guess everybody go ahead and roll stealth checks as you follow Bartholomew into this cleft in the rock.
My dice hate me tonight. 13.
It's a +10. That's
That
fine.
with
Yep.
the +10? Oh, that's
Yep.
so funny.
19.
Oh, that's lovely.
36.
32.
We've got
Motherfucker.
a 28 and a 23 from Ismark and Irina. So they're good.
It figures that we would be the two loudest ones, sister.
Yeah. What do you mean sneak? I don't understand. Would you want me to get closer to the ground?
You
Speedy
expect
just,
me to
like,
take off my heels for this?
No.
Scoots
God,
over
no.
to Silme, puts a finger on her lips. That's a
Sorry. Speedy, where the fuck did you come from?
You want to see something even cooler? And then he just like takes 2 steps to the left and he's gone.
My bad roll is just Silme going, oh my god, what the fuck?
All right. Do you enter into the alcove?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you are. This is what the stealth checks were for. You're in. What is the marching order?
Speedy up front.
I'll go second.
I'll be in the back with Maybell.
Okay. Would Maybell have transformed into an owl
Yeah, probably.
for this? Because there might be fighting. So the 5 of you are creeping your way through this alcove. There is the loud sound of wind as it just kind of whistles past the exterior of this cave. And as you are coming in, you can definitely smell the smoke a lot more pungent through here, as this seems to be the only way for the smoke to filter out. And you can hear voices just kind of talking back and forth, voices that are not alarmed at all. They seem to be having like a casual conversation. Like one says something and then like you can hear raucous laughter answer it.
Can I pick up what they're saying?
What are your languages?
Or common.
Just common?
Common.
Sweden.
Oh, wait. I know Common, Elvish, Halfling for some reason in Sylvan. I'm going to change Halfling real quick.
Yeah, probably.
I've never seen a Halfling.
There's not a lot of halflings in there. You can hear it, but you don't understand the language.
Cool.
It's not Elven either.
Is it Gnomish or Draconic?
Is it celestial?
It's not that. No.
Damn it.
None of you understand what they're saying.
Bunch of punk ass kids.
However, Kefris, give me an insight check.
12.
12? Okay. Glancing back, you can see that Irina seems to have a look of understanding on her face. And she's just kind of listening, like she's got her head cocked, listening intently. And you are about to open your mouth to say something to her when you are stopped by a loud growling sound.
Speedy. Just look over towards where Speedy is, if that is also where the sound of the growling is.
Outline of
And
Speedy.
those voices go quiet, and then they like seem to be like conversing with one another as though like what was that? Though of course they don't say that in any language that you understand.
Shield. Spear out. And then warn the others about the growly sound coming from a particular direction.
Yeah, Irina kind of hisses. They know we're here.
And them.
She kind of looks at you and says, "You don't?"
No. I don't speak whatever it is they're speaking.
She kind of squints back in their direction, and like she kind of like starts to scoot back a little bit, and like if the rest of you follow her, that growling sound becomes more distant. It doesn't seem to be pursuing you.
All of us can see in the dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speedy
Except for Speedy.
can't anymore. Used
Oh
to
yeah,
be
he
able
got
to.
rid of that. Don't you have dark vision from being a woo? No?
Just
Why not?
just advantage on perception.
Flint took your eyes out. Oh god.
Caps. Ooh, boppy doo, boppy doo.
So she kind of like scoots you guys back and hisses to you. It sounds like they are just camping here,
Are they?
though they are surprised that there is anyone else this high in the mountains.
Ismark, follow my
Yes.
lead. And Kefris is going to start climbing onto the wall and then onto the ceiling.
All right. Ismark has probably practiced this a couple of times, and he just follows after you.
Disturbing. Can you tell them that we don't mean any harm?
I'll see what I can do.
Let's not startle them anymore.
I wish your brother stays around to listen to me because he has to remain within a certain radius for that powder to keep working on him.
Speedy, where the fuck are you?
I'm right next to you.
Oh God! Stop it.
I've been right next to you this entire time.
That's
Irina-
really creepy.
Irina calls down the hall in this language you don't understand. And there's a moment's silence before she is answered. And this person, it sounds like it's another female voice. This person seems aggressive. And she turns around and says, they want to know why we're here.
We're seeking knowledge? Why else would we be up in the mountains? It's better not to lie to them.
Fine, fuck it. Go ahead. We're seeking knowledge.
She says something else to them, basically trying to impress that we aren't here to harm anyone. We just want what's in the temple. And God,
Roll against yourself.
I guess
Guess I'll die.
it's not bad. Okay. She is answered, and she turns around and says, all right, they want us to come out with our weapons out, but not in an aggressive manner.
Right.
I will take the bolt out of my crossbow, twang it. Well, no, that's bad for it, so I'll just...
Yeah.
So
you
we
tell
will
them
just go
that-
like this.
Can you tell them that I have way too many weapons to actually draw
Kefris
comfortably?
and Ismark are moving forward.
We were just going. My plan was within the range of Speedy, go and like tuck myself into a corner.
Like a little spider.
Like a spider or something. So that way, when we meet these individuals, I am still stealthed, but like also in a situation where if they start shit, my weapon's already drawn.
Okay. Ismark does something similar on the other side, and just kind of gives you a look as the rest of the party begins inching forward towards this fire glow at the end of the alcove.
There is something so weird to Kefris about this, because like the last time he saw anybody else on the roof, it was Doru, and Doru and Ismark originally went to Ravenloft together.
I know, it's weird, right?
You're his Doru.
Just like, we got this, buddy.
Sister, let me out. I'm so hungry.
he turns his head towards you, and they're like his eyes do that like
Predatory
night
sheen.
vision thing, like swing. So do you guys move
Yep.
forward with your weapons? All right.
Very tangent.
Who's going first?
I'll go first.
With what?
My spear up fucking top on the ceiling.
Are you coming down?
No. Staying
We're
up on
not
the ceiling.
fighting yet.
Okay,
We're not
cool.
fighting them.
Oh my
mind.
God. I was like, wait, what are you doing? No, we
Leave it to the
Speedy-
barbarian.
Kefris become a fucking murder hobo.
I know, right? What in.
They are
move
moving.
forward.
They are moving past you, Kefris. They are
Yeah.
going beyond where you are hidden.
It'll be
Nice.
Hello.
Bartholomew, crossbow, short sword.
All right. Irina's gonna stay close to the front so that she can converse. As you come into the room, you can see that there is a fire in the middle of the room. It kind of blinds you for briefly. And then when your vision clears, you can see that there are a number of people dressed in very warm furs, just kind of standing in a semicircle around you, as well as a large, what you think is a direwolf at first. But then you, like, Speedy, you're very familiar with wolves. You find that this is actually a dog, a very wolf-like dog, but it is a dog nonetheless. And it is just kind of bristling and growling at you. And you are able to discern that this is what gave you away. It smelled you coming.
Oh,
That smelled them coming.
I mean, if we're being fair, it smelled Silme coming. She forgot
Thanks,
to
guys.
not wear
Thanks.
perfume today.
Let's rub it in more. Hello. Hello. My name is Silme.
No, just let Irina do the talking, please.
Oh.
That's very offensive.
Oh, for the love of God, please do the talking.
Just tell them that my name is Silme.
All right, she begins translating for you.
Silme. We are here to visit.
You don't need the hand motions.
It helps me, all right? We are here to visit the temple. We are travelers, and we seek knowledge.
All right.
Can I put my arms down now?
She communicates this to them, and like they kind of look confused, say something to her, and she says they want to know if you are wizards.
Did they ask that in a way that if I say yes, they might try to kill me?
Give me an insight check.
Okay. 21.
21. No.
Yes.
All right.
Big head nod.
They do not want to. They do not want to kill you, but like they all kind of like get this like look on their face, like, oh, okay, all right. And like one kind of nudges the other, and the two of them laugh. However, the lady that appears to be the leader kind of gives them a stern look, and then asks Irina something else. She says, they want to know if we want evil magics.
Oh gods, no. Sunshine magic.
All right, give me a persuasion check.
I know, kitten. Persuasion. All right, it's not terrible. Does a 7 work? The dice are not with me tonight.
This lady does not seem impressed. And like now that you're standing in this room looking around, you can see that it appears that the rock that this temple was carved out of is some sort of black slate, something. It's actually very ornate. And it's very strange. You have no idea how they were able to accomplish this, but there appears to be a glaze of amber just over everything. And this amber glaze, wherever the light hits it, it just kind of bounces off and permeates the room. Any amount of light in here is kind of expanded by this effect. But it is a very yellow light. And it kind of plays with the colors of everyone's armor and things. Irina's hair, like, becomes a brighter, more saturated color.
Mhm.
Her armor looks straight up gold.
Can we go now? Like, what did they explain who they are?
Irina
Detectives?
asks them and says, "It seems that they are up here hunting.
Oh,
There
all right.
are-
Well, we will not get in their way.
They are Balinok, they say."
Ow, fuck you.
Can I make a history check?
Yeah, sure.
Kefris wants to stealthily climb down the wall because he recognizes that name.
Okay.
That's a natural 20.
All right. Yeah, you remember this from the Tome of Strahd, actually. The Balinok are who
Originally lived in...
Barovia and terrorized the people there.
Right.
Ah. Ooh. Ooh. Nah. It's been like, what, 1,300 years?
The dog actually seems very interested in you, Speedy.
If I'm allowed to sheath my weapons, I'm just gonna, like, put my hand out in that, like, kind of longing.
Can I pet it?
Can
I get that look a
Give me an
lot.
animal handling check.
Is this a service dog or can I give pets?
16.
16?
Yeah.
All right. It like bares its teeth at you, but as soon as your hand hits its fur, it kind of like leans its head to the side, and you find the scritchy spot, and like it completely drops its like fierce demeanor, and just goes full on dopey mutt and is just like enjoying the scritches.
Bartholomew is gonna give the dog a once over. Are they treating it well? Is this... Do I need to break out the brushes?
I mean, I guess a survival check.
No. Fucking... Bart's a dog whisperer. Okay. 23.
23. This is a very like this is one of those like two-coated animals, where like
Double coat.
it's to keep it warm in the winter, or up here where it is frigid. Like as you are kind of petting it, and you get a feel of its ribs, you can tell that it's pretty lean, but no more lean than anybody else in the group. It just seems that it's hard living up here.
PSA, it keeps them cool in the summer too. If you
Yeah.
keep it brushed, do not shave a double-coated dog.
Don't shave a double-coated dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This
That's
is
my
essentially a husky,
Okay.
but like as tall as a man.
Damn.
Dire husky.
Oh, that is a Malamute.
Just like reaches into his bag, pulls out some jerky, like dangles it above his head, drops it. He's having a blast.
Somebody notices that you're doing that, and they go like, "Hey!" And it looks sheepishly back at them, and then Irina kind of wrinkles her nose, and she says, "Its name is Snow Snow."
Snow. Oh my god, I love him. I want t-shirts made out of him. He's the new icon of this group.
I can't take credit for that. This is from a forum somewhere.
So, are we good to go then? Yes?
Kefris, what are you doing?
I think that Kefris, seeing that Speedy was being friendly towards the pupper, and they said Balinok, Kefris will approach these individuals.
Okay. Is this like a slow crawl down the wall, stand up type of thing? Or is this like a, here I am?
Let's see if he has any social tact. This is a slow crawl, just to like appear gracefully outside of their vision.
Okay, that's pretty fucking creepy. And
Hey!
Maybe he gets the crossbow drawn, pointing at a Kefris like, oh.
Yeah, no, like there is like a Mexican standoff briefly with weapons drawn, axes, swords, all roughly hewn out of stone.
Let's not be hasty.
The leader seems to recognize your spear.
Was wanting to say, if these are Balinox, we fight for the same. We fight for the same.
Just no, Kefris. Just tell Irina what to say.
This
Just
is the
tell
same
Irina what to
problem
say.
Silme had. Yeah. Irina turns around and says, "You're going to want to stop that."
We fight for the same thing.
She doesn't like that spear, Kefris.
Why?
She haltingly asks her why she doesn't like the spear. And she says, as far as I can tell, she's calling it the weapon of the disgraced king.
Ew.
All right then. And Kefris stows it away on his back, and then just like, I am so sorry.
The leader just kind of points at all of you, and says something very forcefully, and points at a door leading deeper into the temple, as it appears that you are actually in a room in the temple. And Irina says, okay, she is saying that we can go in, but we're going to have to find another way out.
Great.
What's wrong with the current way out?
She says that they will not be held responsible for what they do to us if they see us again.
I'm so sorry.
Could you ask them how long they plan to stay in this area so that we can like schedule something?
The leader seems to get more aggressive and points again and shouts something.
Okay. I'm going to boot the snoot of the wolf and start walking into the temple.
Yeah, Snow looks sad to see you leave, Speedy. And Ismark, like, waits for a second and then awkwardly kind of like crawls along the wall and just sort of like waves at them, smiling with his befangled mouth. And like several of them just kind of jump and point weapons at him as he goes by, and he just continues scooting. And you go through the doors, and then they close with a loud sound behind you. You are now in an enormous atrium. You are standing on what appears to be like a balcony. There is a large set of stairs that go down. And there are a couple of doorways off to the side. And there is this, quite frankly, enormous statue. It's got to be like 30 feet high. You're not looking down. You're not looking up at it. It's down in the atrium. There are stairs that lead down to it. So you're at about eye level with it right now. It appears to be a statue of a wizard in the middle of casting a spell. And if you try to see its face, if there is a face carved there, you just cannot make it out. There is a darkness without fathom within the hood of this stone wizard.
And this is why I started studying magic, Kefris.
Looking around, you can see that this place is pretty worse for wear. It is enormous and really kind of crumbling in areas. It seems that there has been some seismic activity. There is a door on one side of the wizard that seems to have been busted open. and there is some detritus inside. But there is another large ornate door to the right side of the wizard, and the word vault comes to mind. It doesn't have any lock on it that you can see, but Silme, ever since you entered in here and you didn't have a weapon pointed at you, this place is just brimming with magical energy. Likewise, Speedy, now that there isn't a pupper to distract you, you have a splitting headache.
Don't like that. Maybe it's the lack of oxygen, but my head hurts.
What's the matter?
Maybe it's altitude sickness.
Perhaps.
Medicine check.
Okay. Buit.
Kefris, are you all right in here? I know you feel weird around magic sometimes.
19.
Do I sense this magic at all?
Does Kefris sense the magic at all?
Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
I got the magic.
An 11.
Okay. It looks like a place that would be magical. And you don't have any frame of reference for this, but you do not experience the aura of this place in the same way that anybody else does.
It's just a haunted hallway. We've dealt with them before.
This is definitely magical, and it feels amazing.
Feels gross.
That's gross.
What? Ow! Fuck. I'm sorry, I tripped on a stone. Do you mind?
Stones don't talk.
No. Where to next?
Kefris just motions for deeper into the chasm.
Find the scale model of Castle Ravenloft and see what's there, and then
Perhaps the vault.
points towards the vault.
Yes. Well, should we mark where we're going? Although that
Pulls
might not
out
help very much.
Chalk.
No, I mean on paper. Wizards tend to make their homes difficult.
What do you mean?
They change. You enter a room, and then when you exit the room through the same door, you're in a different place.
Oh, wait, are you talking about that bottle bullshit that was back in the tower?
Yes.
Oh, fuck that.
Oh.
Yes. This is why we're not going to touch anything unless we know what it is, yes?
Maybe if we find some sort of library, there would be a map or something of the place.
Perhaps. Let's go downstairs first. I think starting at the beginning.
It's fair.
All right.
Give me another marching order.
Or is this where we want to call it?
I'm not done yet.
Okay, sounds good.
Shit. Okay.
This
I
is
hate
where we
that.
die.
Yeah, Silme's gonna go first.
I'll go second.
Should we? Silme's gonna check for traps, just in case.
You want me to check for traps?
Arcane traps.
Kefris is going with the siblings.
You are the sibling.
No, we're
How
not.
do you propose to do that? Arcana checks, perception checks?
Arcana checks.
All right. I am assuming that you are proceeding with caution.
Yes.
Silme, you give me Arcana. Speedy, you give me perception.
17.
Dirty 20. A filthy, filthy 20.
Gross.
Okay. So you start heading down the stairs. Your footsteps make a soft echoing sound that just kind of permeates throughout the... I don't want to say building, because building is it's not a big scary enough word for this place. The complex.
That's a scary word.
And you all are trying to proceed with some amount of caution. As you do so, Speedy, this headache just keeps on getting worse and worse. And this like feeling of doom, like as though you are in the wrong place and you are not doing what you should be doing right now. Like you get a weird feeling that this is life or death. And as you are kind of struggling with that like strongly emotional response, Silme, you catch a familiar sight, which is to say a little small crackle of magical energy coming from the inside of the hood of the statue. And you can see that something in there, or someone, is readying a spell.
Ooh, I'm gonna, when they attempt to fire it off, I'm gonna counterspell it.
Okay.
Does Speedy see this as well, or is it just Silme?
You are kind of dealing with something right now. Yeah.
What about the Mage
What?
Slayer?
What about the Mage Slayer?
Ooh, fuck.
Is he
I mean-
gonna smash?
You're not next to the spellcaster.
I'm not, but I'm angry.
Yes, you are, Kefris.
God. All right.
You are turning into Gwen. What's happening? Can I?
Spellcasters, or people who have played them, explain exactly how counterspell works to me. You have to use like the same slot.
Or
Yeah,
else you have to roll against it.
yeah. So
Okay.
if it is a 3rd level spell or lower, it just negates it. If it's 4th or higher, I need to make an ability check. The DC equals 10 plus the spell level.
Unless you blow the appropriate spell level, then you don't have to make the roll.
This is not a 3rd level spell.
Oh God.
This is a 6th level spell.
Okay. Oh Jesus Christ! So I have to roll a 16 or higher.
I need. Yeah, go ahead. Do that.
This is spells level. And this is a check, not.
Not a save, it's a check. So you add just your
Yeah,
your spellcasting modifier.
which is actually not that much.
Now,
So
what does
you're-
she have to beat to get this?
16.
16.
Okay.
I don't know if you add your proficiency on it.
Blah 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 blah. All right, that's a good blomp. That is
Natural
good.
20.
Good blomp. All right. So Silme, you hear the familiar crackle of magical energy. Your head snaps up just in time to see the telltale signs of someone beginning to cast some sort of electric magic towards you. And you take a ready stance, and as it blasts directly towards you, you pull lightning out of the air and throw it down to the ground. It takes out the stairs next to you, and there is this just enormous cacophony of sound, and the whole complex begins to shake. This atrium rains down earth from above. Speedy, your nose begins to bleed.
He's going to wipe it, steady himself on Silme, and she can hear him say, "Sorry, Bartholomew, but I'm going to need to borrow your body for a bit."
What?
And that's where we'll leave off for today.
You motherfuckers! I hate and love the both of you. So, with that, I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop by and join us for this wonderful session of Dungeons and Dragons. I appreciate all of you. So, Wings, where can we find you? What do you do?
Oh, hey, everybody. My name is Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings, mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. You can find me on Mondays right here playing Coriander the Elegant Paladin during our homebrew game, and on Tuesdays running Curse of Strahd. Tomorrow we're going to be playing our monthly game for... oh gosh, I go through like 5 different names that are incorrect. The Looming
Haka.
20s with the
That's it.
Haka sisters. And we're going to wrap up the story that we started last time. We are in some fuck off fog, experiencing some terrible, terrible things from our past. So come by and see that. Anyway, DanaeKeener.com.
Hey everybody, I'm RJ here on the channel. You can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life. Mondays we play our homebrew campaign. Gotta talk to Indoor about that. Tuesdays, here, Speedy. We're having a time. Sundays, I'm over at Pro Restarters channel with the lovely LBHackEmUp on 8 o'clock EST. We play Cypher System in a game called Phase. It's getting live. DanaeKeener.com.
Hi, I'm LBHackEmUp. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like everyone else does. You can find me here Mondays and Tuesdays. Every other Friday, I'm on Damn It Barry's channel. Every other Sunday, I'm on G Game Night's channel doing Monster of the Week. And then I am with RJ on Pro's channel doing the Cypher System game where we reset the robos. Should be fine.
Do robots dream of electric sheep?
The answer is yes, because Philip K. Dick was amazing. But hey, if you have made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, what's up, fella? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the indoor adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/indoor adventures. We do shows like this Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So don't miss out, especially because hey, tomorrow is the Looming 20s game that features both myself, Danae Keener of DanaeKeener.com, our dear friend Satan, our other dear friend Koss, and of course, run always by our dear friend Greybeard of Greybeard's Tavern. So, right now, though, we are going to be going into our Patreon-supported podcast called Nights in the Courtyard. So, if you feel like hearing the answers to the questions that have been on your mind this entire 2.5-hour session, then consider going to patreon.com/indoor adventures and joining us for Nights in the Courtyard. But until then, we will see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye! Hey, guess what, guys? Didn't hit the button again.
Sure.
Why are you like this?